Siddhartha Gautama was born a prince. His father, King Suddhodana, ruled a prosperous land. The young prince lived in luxury, shielded from life's hardships. He had everything he could desire: fine clothes, delicious food, and beautiful palaces. Yet a sense of unease lingered in his heart. Siddhartha yearned for something more. He felt trapped by the walls of his palace. The pleasures of his life seemed shallow and fleeting. He knew there had to be a deeper meaning to existence. This feeling gnawed at his soul. One day, Siddhartha ventured outside the palace walls. He had always been curious about the world beyond. What he saw shocked him. He encountered an old man, his body ravaged by time. He saw a sick person, racked with pain and suffering. Then he saw a corpse being carried away. These sights filled him with a profound sense of unease. He realized that suffering was an inevitable part of life. This realization shook him to his core, shattering his sheltered world. These encounters, known as the Four Sights, transformed Siddhartha. He saw a wandering ascetic, his face serene and peaceful. The ascetic had renounced worldly possessions to seek spiritual truth. This encounter sparked a flame within Siddhartha. He realized that the path to true happiness lay not in material wealth, but in spiritual understanding. The Four Sights had planted the seeds of discontent in his heart. He could no longer ignore the call to seek a deeper truth. At the age of 29, Siddhartha made a momentous decision. He resolved to leave his life of luxury behind. He renounced his kingdom, his wealth, and his family. This act of selflessness became known as the Great Renunciation. He exchanged his fine clothes for simple robes. He embraced a life of poverty and simplicity. Siddhartha knew that true freedom lay in detaching himself from worldly attachments. His journey to enlightenment had begun. Years of asceticism, seeking through deprivation. Siddhartha sought guidance from various teachers, diving deep into the practices of extreme asceticism. He was determined to find the ultimate truth, the key to ending suffering. Each teacher he encountered offered different methods, but all shared a common belief: that self-denial and severe discipline were the paths to enlightenment. He believed that by mortifying the flesh, he would achieve spiritual liberation. The idea was that by denying the body its desires and needs, the spirit would be freed from the cycle of suffering and rebirth. This belief drove him to push his body to its limits. Hours upon hours were spent in meditation, his mind focused on transcending the physical realm. He would sit in deep contemplation, trying to detach himself from all worldly attachments and distractions. He fasted for days on end, believing that by depriving his body of nourishment, he could purify his soul. His body grew weaker, but his resolve remained strong. The hunger pangs were seen as tests of his spiritual strength, and the hard ground served as his bed. He rejected all comforts, choosing instead to sleep on the bare earth. This was a testament to his commitment to the ascetic path, a path that demanded complete renunciation of physical pleasures. Yet, despite his intense efforts, enlightenment remained elusive. The more he punished his body, the more distant the goal seemed. His mind, instead of finding peace, was often clouded with confusion and frustration. He came to realize that punishing his body did not bring him any closer to the truth. The extreme measures he took only led to more suffering, not the liberation he sought. This realization was a turning point in his spiritual journey. Close to death, his mind was still filled with turmoil. His body, emaciated and frail, was a stark reminder of the futility of his efforts. He understood that a new approach was necessary if he was to find the enlightenment he so desperately sought. It became clear he needed to find a different way. The path of extreme asceticism had not brought him the answers he was looking for. This realization set the stage for a new chapter in his quest for enlightenment, one that would eventually lead him to the middle way, a path of balance and moderation. A middle path, finding balance and harmony. Siddhartha abandoned the extremes of self-indulgence and self-mortification. In their place, he discovered the importance of the middle way, a path marked by moderation and balance. He realized that true happiness lay in finding harmony between the body and the mind. As he began to nourish his body while continuing his spiritual practice, he understood that true strength came from inner peace, not from physical hardship. This realization marked a profound turning point in his journey. Enlightenment under the Bodhi tree, the awakening. One evening, Siddhartha sat beneath a Bodhi tree. He vowed to meditate until he attained enlightenment. He sat in deep meditation, his mind still and focused. He confronted his inner demons and overcame them. After 49 days of continuous meditation, he finally achieved enlightenment. He saw the true nature of reality, the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. He became the Buddha, the awakened one. Sharing the Dharma, the path to Nirvana. The journey to enlightenment is a profound and transformative experience, one that the Buddha dedicated his life to guiding others through. The Buddha dedicated the rest of his life to sharing his wisdom. He believed that the path to Nirvana was accessible to all, regardless of their background or status. He traveled throughout India, teaching the Four Noble Truths, the truth of suffering, which acknowledges that suffering is an inherent part of human existence, the truth of the cause of suffering, which identifies desire and attachment as the root causes of our pain and distress, the truth of the end of suffering, which offers hope by asserting that it is possible to end suffering, and the truth of the path to the end of suffering, which outlines the steps necessary to achieve this liberation. He taught the Eightfold Path, a comprehensive guide that includes right understanding, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. This path serves as a practical guide to ethical living, mental discipline, and spiritual development. It encourages individuals to cultivate wisdom, ethical conduct, and mental discipline. He emphasized the importance of compassion, kindness, and empathy towards all living beings. These qualities are essential for creating a harmonious and peaceful society. Mindfulness, the practice of being fully present in each moment, was another key teaching. The Buddha taught that by being mindful in all aspects of life, from our thoughts and actions to our interactions with others, we can achieve a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. This awareness helps us to live more fully and to respond to life's challenges with greater clarity and calmness. The enduring legacy, a universal message. The Buddha's teachings transcend time and culture. His message of peace, compassion, and wisdom continues to resonate with millions around the world. His teachings offer a path to liberation from suffering, a journey to inner peace and fulfillment. The Buddha's story is a reminder that enlightenment is attainable for all. It is a journey of self-discovery, compassion, and the realization of our true nature. Finding your path, a call to inner reflection. In the hustle and bustle of our daily lives, we often forget to pause and look within ourselves. This moment of inner reflection is a sacred call, urging us to find our true path. The story of the Buddha is an inspiration to us all. Born as a prince, Siddhartha Gautama renounced his worldly possessions in search of deeper meaning. His journey from opulence to enlightenment is a testament to the power of inner transformation. It teaches us that true happiness comes from within. External circumstances may change, but the peace we cultivate inside remains steadfast. Meditation and mindfulness are tools that help us connect with this inner joy. It encourages us to cultivate wisdom, compassion, and mindfulness in our own lives. The lotus flower, rising from the mud to bloom beautifully, symbolizes our potential to grow and flourish despite life's challenges. By following the Buddha's teachings, we can find our own path to enlightenment. Each step we take, guided by wisdom and compassion, brings us closer to our true selves. The footprints in the sand remind us that we are not alone on this journey. Take time to reflect on your own life. What causes you suffering? Identifying the sources of our pain is the first step towards healing. As you sit by the river or gaze at the sunset, let these moments of contemplation guide you. How can you cultivate more peace and compassion in your heart? Simple acts of kindness, like releasing a paper boat or offering food, can create ripples of positivity. These small gestures are powerful steps towards a more compassionate world. The journey to enlightenment is a personal one, unique to each individual. Like a lone traveler exploring ancient ruins, we must navigate our own path, learning and growing with each experience. But the Buddha's teachings can guide us along the way. These ancient scriptures and stone tablets hold timeless wisdom, offering us insights and guidance. As we delve into these teachings, we find the light that illuminates our path to inner peace and enlightenment.